What's up, DGens? It's Brian Lovett with All Your Tech. I wanted to give you a couple quick updates today about my cryptocurrency mining and also a kind of cool NFT project that we'll talk about towards the end of the video. Now, as most of you are aware, back in December of 2021, I took out a fairly large scale loan, $300,000, and I started to purchase Bitcoin mining equipment, a bunch of Antminer S19J Pros. Now, I ended up doing a bunch of research and going with two different companies, Compass Mining and Frontier Mining. So I wanted to give you a kind of fast forward update on what's happened over the last 6 months and where we're actually at with the project. Now, through all my research, both companies seem to be completely legitimate. I have very few concerns about the operations or the ownerships of the companies. The biggest issue is that the crypto market has actually had a pretty big downturn, but going into this, I actually anticipated that. So when I did my profitability calculations and I set about setting this whole thing up, I went into it with the mindset that the cryptocurrency market is probably going to correct at some time. And what's the actual profitability that I have depending on the price of Bitcoin? So Bitcoin can fall all the way to about $13,000 per coin before I actually start to lose profitability. So I'm not very concerned about that at this point. The other big massive issue that's kicked up in the last 6 months has been all of the supply chain issues throughout the global economy, right? We've got the stock market crashing, the crypto market crashing. We've got supply chains being squeezed from all different angles all across the world. And so that's made it difficult logistically for some of these crypto mining companies to even get the materials like the power supplies, the PDUs, the transformers into these facilities to get them online fast enough. So initially with Compass Mining, I had a February start date. So my miners should have started coming online in February. That didn't happen. Fast forward into March, I still didn't have any miners online. Now, come April, they actually got my first miner online. Again, 2 months late, but better late than never. And I started mining. Now, these were actually supposed to go online in the United States, but they ended up going into Ontario, Canada instead. I'm fine with that. It's in North America. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that data center. I was just glad to see some hash rate come online. Now, since then, Compass has gone kind of above and beyond to try to catch things up to the pace that they were supposed to be at. See, they were supposed to deploy one Antminer S19J Pro for me every month for the first 6 months. So fast forward to the end of April, beginning of May, they had 4 of my miners online. I should have a total of 7. So they've got 3 more coming online, 1 this month, which it's May, and I should have 2 more in June. So we should be fully deployed on Compass by the end of June, just a little bit slower than the initial estimates. I also have a fairly large scale sized setup coming online with Frontier Mining. This is actually 32 Antminer S19J Pros. And so this is the bulk of my deployment. It's about $270,000 worth of equipment. And they've also run into a few logistical issues. One, the data center that they were going to deploy into has been having problems getting the approvals to actually put the extra amount of power into the grid. So they've got like a 4 megawatt facility, I'm presuming. And so turning on 4 megawatts or 8 megawatts, whatever it is at one time, you have to get approval from the city. They have to actually allow you to do that because it's a pretty big strain on the electrical grid. And so they've been having difficulties getting that done. And so in the interim, I've been working with the guys over there and they're trying to help me out and get me going in one of their other facilities. They have one in upstate New York that just needs some equipment updated. So they primarily ran S9s. So Antminer S9s were the kind of last generation Antminers. Actually, I guess 2 generations ago, if you count the XPs that are just now starting to be deployed. And so the S9s were less power dense. And so you didn't need PDUs. Those are the power distribution units that actually go into the cages in a data center. They didn't need the power density that you have with the S19. So they've got to update some of those and make some rack space available in order to get my miners online and hashing. Fast forward, what that means is we're still probably a month or 2 out on that deployment. And obviously, I'm not super happy about that, but I understand there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't fault the company that much. And I do believe that they're a legitimate business and they'll get things going online. Now, the problem is that there's a big opportunity cost. I lose about $400 a day every day that my miners aren't online. And so you extrapolate that out and you're looking at about $15,000 a month. It's already been 6 months, so you're looking at about $90,000. It's going to be a couple more months, so another $30,000. And on top of that, in about 740 days, we've got the Bitcoin halvening. This is when the mining rewards for Bitcoin actually drop in half. So hopefully we get everything online as expected in the next month or two, and I'll have an update on that. All right, so that brings us to the exciting new project that I've started. It's called Hatchet NFT. I'm actually rocking one of the t-shirts right now. And you can go to hatchetnft.com to check it out in detail. But essentially what the deal is we need to secure the blockchain. So Bitcoin mining, proof of stake, like Ethereum, you need to set up full staking nodes. A lot of other blockchains have similar full staking node requirements. There's a lot of technical expertise and also a lot of upfront capital cost in the form of cash that you have to deploy in order to set these things up and actually do them at scale. This is something that I've done since 2014, 2015, and you just heard about kind of some of the logistical issues that you can still run into with that. But that's something that I've been navigating for years. And so as part of that, what I've decided to do is let's launch this NFT project. And I've talked about how I think the future of NFTs is really about proof of ownership, obviously, as non-fungible tokens are, but also a way to give back to people. So I think Royal.io was the first really great example of this, in which you were able to actually purchase the royalty streaming rights to some of your favorite artists. And so I purchased one of the Nas NFTs, which gives you royalty streaming rights to one of his songs. And so I actually get paid royalties every few months just as people listen to his music. And so that got me thinking about applying that same technology and logic to providing actual security for the blockchain. So in this case, what we're doing is we set up a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. We have a DAO treasury. And so each person or each time an NFT is sold or purchased, the funds from that go into this decentralized treasury. The decentralized treasury is held by all the DAO owners, and we get to decide what to do with those funds. Now, initially, the idea is that we purchase Bitcoin mining hardware, as I've got expertise there, and we set up staking nodes for projects like Ethereum. The revenue that comes back into that, the DAO actually votes on what to do next. We can reinvest so that collectively we end up growing our operations, or we can start to actually pay some of those profits out to the DAO collective, the NFT holders, the people who are actually taking part in this whole thing. And so that's up to all of you that get involved in this. So I'm pretty excited about this project. I think it's a novel way to use NFTs. It's a legitimate way to actually use NFTs that isn't just selling a JPEG of something or getting completely degen into some crazy Ponzi-nomics crypto project that's going to fail. I think the days of those hopefully are coming to an end. We're seeing a lot of projects start to fail, like Strongblock. I predicted that a year ago, and other projects that are similar to it. So check out Hatchet NFT. The mint is actually going online right when I launch this video. So you can go to the website and you can actually mint your first NFT. It's 0.1 Ethereum. We wanted to make the barrier to entry as low as possible to get into this, but we are going to increase the prices on subsequent NFT drops pretty significantly. The next one will probably be around half an ETH in order to get into. So now's a great time to get involved. Hit up our Discord. I've got a link in the description below. Follow us on Twitter and let me know in the comments below what you think. And hopefully this will be a very profitable venture for everybody involved. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.